Now, we'll talk on this show about a lot of situations that sit in the grey zone where there's a mix of considerations. I think this is one of those. I know other people think it's clearly red. I don't agree. I think there's a mix of considerations. I think, firstly, you have to think about what those considerations are. What is the point of contact is an important one. And I know that when we look at this, we see that the point of contact is on the knee. But we also have to factor in speed, force and intensity. You'll not see many red cards in the Premier League for serious foul play that don't involve those things. Now, we evaluate those things through a full speed view of the incident. And without looking at it at full speed, you get kind of a distorted view. You don't get a true picture of how much force and speed there was in the challenge. Then we have to slow it down, of course, to see the point of contact. So different ways of looking at the video for different considerations, but we have to consider the full mix of them when deciding to come to a final outcome. We'll see on slow-mo that it does touch that knee. But at full speed, when you play in real time, you can see there's not a great deal of speed in action, not a lot of intensity. Which on the ball that you're referencing, Michael, doesn't negate the possible award of a penalty. We've seen other examples of where the ball might touch a player, touch a defender. There's still heavy contact on the follow-through, and it's a penalty.
Brian Mbeumo was your central striker in your first 3 games. It's worked because he scored the opening goal in the first 2 games, but you did have other options there in terms of Cunha and Sesko also, and notoriously he's been more of a right winger. So what was it that you saw in him to put him as your centre forward?
I think he's got an eye for goals, Brian. He's got his movement's really good. His combination play as well as the threat in behind. I think it was just a really good mix for the first 2 games and carried it on a little bit today. So it's we got options and it's great to have options and the flexibility to even cross the front line for similar players to play in, but actually it can look different as well in terms of how we want to attack. So yeah, he's done fantastic. I think him and Bruno have had a really good link up and obviously the goals have had a big impact for us.
Right, to play these teams and you question their attitude. I think it's a style. In terms of when you think of the last few managers, they've had great success in terms of counter-attacking football. So the 2 games that they've just had plays into that, and that's what Manchester United did. You mentioned that, they ceded possession to Arsenal, and sometimes it's not a decision that you make. It's just that they've got better players, they're a better team, so they're going to be in possession more, maybe in Manchester City and at Arsenal. But this will be a game where Manchester United expect to be on the ball and take the game to the opposition. And can they break down that low block? And it's not just Manchester United have had problems with that. Arsenal, at times, the best team in the league, have problems with that. Liverpool, with Arne Slot, keeps mentioning low blocks as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of get around that, because it will be a completely different game today. I wouldn't.
Manchester United don't just win football matches, they write stories. And on a dramatic Premier League night at Old Trafford, the Red Devils reminded the football world exactly who they are, staging a breathtaking 3-2 comeback victory against Fulham that felt ripped straight out of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. As the clock ticked into the dying moments, social media erupted with a familiar phrase that generations of fans know by heart: Fergie time. Once again, United found a way when it mattered most. The match was chaos, tension, and raw emotion from the first whistle. Fulham arrived fearless, pressing high and punishing every mistake. When United found themselves trailing late in the game, frustration spread around the theatre of dreams. Doubt crept in. But history has taught football fans one thing: never count Manchester United out. What followed was a relentless surge driven by belief, urgency, and Old Trafford's electric atmosphere. United pushed higher, faster, harder. Every tackle was louder. Every attack felt heavier. The stadium believed before the scoreboard did. Players collapsed in celebration. Fans hugged strangers. Phones came out. Chants echoed long after the final whistle. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. This is what supporters mean when they talk about United DNA. The refusal to accept defeat. The belief that the game is never over. The ability to rise when pressure is at its highest. Cameras quickly found Sir Alex Ferguson in the stands, watching on as another late United miracle unfolded beneath him. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. For decades, teams feared Old Trafford not because of the stadium, but because of the time. Whether it's mentality, history, or sheer willpower, Fergie time remains more than a phrase. It's an identity. And on this night, it was alive and roaring. Within minutes, Manchester United dominated football timelines worldwide. Hashtags surged. Clips went viral. Fans declared the return of Old Trafford magic. Pundits spoke of momentum shifts and mentality changes. Late drama. Emotional scenes. A comeback that felt inevitable the moment belief returned. In a league where mentality often separates contenders from pretenders, nights like this build identity. Confidence grows. Fear returns, not within United, but among their rivals. Old Trafford felt like the theatre of dreams again.